Honestly, I think I already messed up. This may be the first and last vlog. I changed my mind again. We're gonna do it. We're gonna fix it. I thought we'd try something a little bit different today. I'm going to try doing a vlog style video because I have a lot of stuff, like little stuff to do on the captain's quarters, and not any one thing makes sense to make that the focus of the video. And I've been thinking about doing a vlog for a while, so, or just like a studio vlog, like not like my life, but just working on my miniatures, kind of how I work during the day in the studio. Also, already my arm is hurting. So you'll honestly see probably a little bit more of the studio today, because when I normally film, you just see like this little square of my desk over here, or you see this like backdrop area here, but probably walking around, you'll see some of my mess. I did clean up a little bit because, well, a little bit. But honestly, I think it'll be interesting just to see if this works. You guys can let me know if you like this style, if you want to see this whenever I have like little projects to put together that don't really make one whole video. I don't know, so we'll see. Honestly, I think I already messed up because I think you're supposed to do like dramatic shots of making your coffee, but I already had my coffee. But we're learning, we're learning. Over here is where the captain's quarters is sitting. I know it looks a little messy and unorganized, but I promise you it is organized. I have these like little crayon boxes. You can buy them for like kids, like around school supplies, but they're great for miniatures. So I've got all the books organized in there so they're nice and safe and don't fall off the shelves. And I've got some other things that were sent to me just all over here. So during this vlog, it might be nice to put everything into the captain's quarters so we can see what we have, because I haven't done that in a while and I think that would be a great step. And if you're all interested, eventually I'm gonna make some chocolate cake in a mug. All right, here we go. Okay, I've got everything set up over here, and I'm gonna go through my plans for today. So I really want to get the top connected to the bottom. Right now it just kind of sits on top, and that means I also need to connect the spiral staircase permanently. And I have some more mail to open, so I will do some more captain's quarters mail to put some more books on the shelves. I'm going to sit on this floor and think for however long it takes me to figure out what the first step is going to be in this process. This may be the first and last vlog. I don't know. Why is there a penny here? I don't know. Okay, so I think what I need to do is I just need to, oops, not destroy things. Oh, I've got tape on it over here. I need to take this guy off. And if you just recently joined me for the cardboard house, I am still working on it. That's another reason I'm doing this vlog style type video. It'll be a little bit faster for me to do it this way, I think. We'll see. And that gives me a lot more time to work on some bedroom furniture for the cardboard house, which is what's coming up next. So if you're a cardboard house fan, that's coming. But what I need to do now, these pieces are still removable, and I have pre-poked holes into these display cases. So I think what I need to do, did I poke them into here? No, I just poked them into one. I have these fairy lights, And I think I just need to try and use one string of fairy lights for both of these display cases. This one has room behind it for all the wiring. This one does not. So, that's another problem. So these are just the little things that I have to do, and that's why I was thinking this might be a more creative way to show you guys what I'm working on, because what would I even title this video? Like, working on fairy lights slash painting trim slash connecting two parts of the captain's quarter. I mean, it doesn't make a very cohesive video. So that took a little bit, but I'm pretty happy with the fact that it's done. And I went ahead and put the top part on because I know I have another problem I need to tackle in a second, but the lights do look a lot better with the ceiling on. I do think I want to make sure that I'm leaving this part accessible so that if I do need to change out the lights at any point, I can get to this part of the project and then carefully take off the electrical tape. And I might even kind of cut a panel in here so that once the top is glued on or the second floor is glued on, I can still reach the wiring back here, because these are fairly cheap fairy lights and I don't really trust them to last forever. One thing I was thinking while I was working on this is whether the fairy lights get really hot, if they would interact with the foam board and cause any problems. I don't really know. That's something that I may learn over time. I like these lights. They're pretty easy to work with. They're cheap. I got 7 lights in a package. I'm not quite sure how much they cost, but I will put a link to them below if you want to try them out. But I do highly suggest that you don't just like turn them on and leave them on, especially if they're like stuck in a project like this, just because I don't know how they would react. So anytime I have electrical stuff in my projects, the lights are only on when I'm viewing the project or showing the project. Every other time the lights are turned off, and I think that's kind of a good way to be safe. All right, so the next problem that I have is connecting the second floor to the bottom floor. I've known this problem was coming. I haven't really shared it with you guys. The tops of all these walls do not match. And so that makes applying or gluing down the second floor a little bit difficult. There's possibly like an 1/8-inch gap right here. You can't see on the inside. There's definitely a gap back here, so you can see light coming in through the back of the project. So all these things need to be fixed. I mean, obviously it is my fault. I do find that when you're working with angles, like this angled wall and both of the back walls are angled, this tends to happen because what I did was I cut all the walls the same size and then angled my walls, and that of course will make some of them just a little bit shorter. What I'm going to do, and I'm kind of helping myself feel better because I know in the real construction world, when they're making like real buildings and stuff, they don't cut everything perfect there. They come up with different ways to fill things in or lift them up or put trim around it. The walls and like nothing is cut perfect, but they've come up with ways to adapt. And so we can do that also in miniature projects. And I think that's really helpful, and it doesn't make you feel like, oh, I'm just the worst miniaturist ever when walls don't match up and things don't go together perfectly, or at least it makes me feel a little bit better. So my plan is I'm going to take some 1/16 inch thick mat board. I am going to cut some very slim pieces, and they're basically going to become shims. And shims are basically something that you shove underneath something to make it level. And all my architecture professors are going to be they're just gonna hate that I just gave that horrible definition. But basically, if you need something to be lifted up a little bit higher, you shove a shim underneath it, and something like that. So what I'm going to be doing is just placing layers of these shim pieces on top of the areas that are low until everything's a little bit closer to the same height. What I'm going to do is make a few pieces that are the same width as some of the walls I need to fix. Thank you so much for the kisses. Thank you. Okay, now this is dangerous. You can't touch it. So I'll do one cut on one side, and then I will flip it over. Oh, that almost went all the way through. It's kind of rare that it goes all the way through. No, 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 that's dangerous. Line it up, and then go the other way, and it goes through. And that's a really easy way to cut through mat board and make sure you have some straight lines. I've added several shims. There's one here, there's one here. This was my tallest wall, so there's nothing here. It's just on all the other walls to try and match up the height. As I said, I'm using mat board for this. I got to this part right here, and I don't quite need a double layer to match this wall height. The nice thing about mat board is that you can peel layers off so that you have the exact right height and everything matches up. And then I'm almost done with shimming all these walls in the front, and for the back I'm just going to use filler to fill in those spots. So I'm not even worrying about shimming this wall back here. I made a nice big mess, but I think I've got everything to the correct height, close enough. It's not completely correct, but it's a lot closer than it was. This is fitting much better now, and I feel much more confident about gluing it all together and feeling like it will make a cohesive piece. Anywhere that there's some gaps, I'll be putting some joint compound or wood filler. And then there is going to still be quite a large gap back here. On this side, I'm not worried about it too much because this is behind the display case. You can't see it. But this is where the spiral staircase comes down. And so I might take like an entire chunk of wood and put it on the inside to block this, and then fill the rest of this with, again, some kind of joint compound, because I don't want any exterior light coming in here and kind of breaking the reality of this being the side of a ship that should be sealed and watertight. So I will be using my 1, 2, 3 blocks. As I glue down, I will put the blocks to give some weight on the top, and so when the glue dries, hopefully it should hold. So let's do it. That's a little better. As you can see, there's still that gap at the very back, which I'm going to put a piece of wood. I did get a little glue on the ceiling. That's okay. The ceiling's not completely done, so that is all right. But everything is looking okay. I will show you that the weight that I put on this floor, I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but it is bowing slightly. I think it's because of the weight, and I think it's gonna be okay. You can actually see the shims and what they're doing right here. And I will go back, and all of this is gonna be filled in with joint compound to make this look really smooth. I've made quite a mess here, so I should probably clean that up. I've been trying to clean as I go now instead of like waiting to the end to clean, because then I feel like I clean less, even though it's probably about the same amount. But yeah, so I guess I'm going to take the weights off. We'll see if the curve in the foam board doesn't look quite as horrible. But yeah, we'll just see. This is super weird because the captain's quarters is together now. Usually I'm having to take it piece by piece, take it apart, but it's together. And this is the first time it's been together, so that's really exciting. I forgot that I was going to put an entire piece of wood in the back here, and I need to do that way back there to block the light. I got the wood beam in there. I'm going to paint any of the exposed wood or foam board or shims that I can see, so that it'll all look cohesive, and then I can go back and add some of the drywall compound that will kind of fill in the gaps. definitely in the ugly phase at this point. But I'm kind of hoping down the road this will turn out and the outside will end up being something that matches how much I love the inside. But for right now, I'm choosing not to let this bother me. I'm trying to focus on the functionality of it and forcing it to do my will, I think is what we're talking about here. So I'm gonna let this dry. It'll be just a few minutes for you guys, but I will be back working on this tomorrow to try and get our spiral staircase installed. Afternoon of day 2, and it is time to try and get this spiral staircase into the captain's quarters, which means I'm going to have to invent a new way to put the new books into the bookcase. So yeah, that's the other thing I'm going to do today. I'm going to put the staircase in, I'm going to put the railing in, and you guys had a ton of great suggestions for that. I think I'm going to try and use a chain because I really like that idea and I think it will match the aesthetic of what we're going for. And then we will put all the captain stuff in and kind of assess what we have. I think this kind of middle point, I think I would call this a middle point. We've got floors, we've got walls, we've got stairs going in, so I think this would maybe be about a middle point of a project. I think it is a great time to pull out what you've already got and assess a plan for the future. So that's my plan for today. While that's drying, I just mopped the floor. While that's drying, let's go over here to here and see if I can find. I at one point purchased necklaces because I thought I was going to make necklaces and I didn't. So I need to look and see if I have chains, and I think they would be in here. I've tried to organize some of these, and the rest of them I'm not quite sure I have an actual good idea of what's in there. So I need to get back on organizing that so I can find what I need. I see it, I see it, I see it. Ah! We have a chain. It's silver. I think that should work, at least to test it out. While I'm over here, I'll show you guys this weird photo that I found at a garage sale that was on the side of the road in Oklahoma. It's got an arm coming out of the hair dryer. Very strange. I thought it was interesting, so I bought it. Now that the staircase is dry, I need to install these guys, which are going to hold the chain up. That's going to be the railing. Here they are glued in. You can see that 1 second from the left, kind of the glue smudged a little bit, so that's going to leave a mark on the floor, but all I have to do is go back with a little bit of black, and I'm probably going to make it look like some dust and grime has gotten into those areas anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. I just had to move it over so it was more evenly spaced. I've got my necklace, some wire cutters, super glue, a place to put the super glue, and some toothpicks. And what I want to do is start lacing this chain here between all of these little poles, and eventually it'll go back to that pole. The toothpick is kind of acting like a needle, which is helping me get the chain through each individual piece because it's a chain, it doesn't really want to stay straight. So I want to get it all kind of put in before I cut anything or glue anything. Now that I have the chain in, I think I can go ahead and start gluing from one side to the other, kind of pushing the chains down as I go until I like what I have. Okay, after they're all hung and where I want them, I'm going to take some more of this stuff and I'm just going to rub it on the bottom of the chain, and hopefully it will get in between all the links and start to take hold so that this whole railing will be one continuous piece that will support each one of these beams. That's my theory, and hopefully it will work out. I got the chains put in and the super glue is drying. So now I think while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and start putting things into the captain's quarters because I think that's the last thing I'm going to do for this vlog. I really just want to see what we have and formulate a plan for the next steps. I'm also not quite sure what to do with the ends of these chains. On the left, I just have it kind of piled up at the bottom. And on the right, or actually like towards the middle there, I have it just hanging down. So if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. I put a lot of what I have in here, not absolutely everything. So if you've sent me something and you don't see it, that doesn't mean it's not going to be in here. It just means I'm just trying to get a general idea. I did put every single book because I like to have all the books on there when I open the new ones, which we will be doing in just a few minutes. I think I'm going to have a ship building table here. So I need to make a table where the captain builds his ships, and I want to have like a half-built ship on this table here. But we have the captain's desk and the chair that was built by Dolphin Magic Pro, and you guys can check out that video if you want to see how the desk was made, and then go see how the chair was made. And then we have the bed back there, and so this is how the top floor is looking. Things I need to do: I need to make the little bench seat that's going to go back here and be piled with stuff. I need to get some items in this closet. It's looking very barren here. And I think we need some paintings. I think some paintings would be nice, and I love doing paintings, so maybe we'll make that a Captain's Quarters episode, making paintings for him. So let's go to the lower floor. I may have a few pieces down here you don't quite recognize, and one of them might be this. I worked on it in a live stream, haven't finished it, but I tried to make it a slanted desk for some maps or books, and so that's why it's white. Eventually it'll be wood colored. But I've got one of the books sitting on here. I have this little chair, and it's got like a pearl inlay, so I thought that was kind of cool. Could maybe go down here. Here's the rug I mentioned in another video, and I found this chair. I thought maybe he would like to lounge in this area, checking out all his magical ship collection. And I put in all the ships I have. I still have a couple cubbies that I could put some ships in, so that is good news. I have some more treasures that can go down here. I need another door over there. And yeah, so we're getting there. It's got a lot more in it than it looked like to begin with, so that's pretty exciting. Here's when all the lights are off in my room. It actually looks really nice, and it's kind of fluttery. I mean, it kind of looks nice. If I just didn't put any other lights down here, I think it might be cool. Like the whole room is illuminated by the ship display. But over here, maybe a little lamp above the map table. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Now for my favorite part, where I get to open up books that you guys have sent in for the captain. The first book we're looking at is from Dawn Kay, who is from Ohio, and she studied astrology for over 30 years, so she decided to make a star journal for the captain. It has this really cute star pattern, and it does have the Venus symbol on the spine, which she put on there for a special reason, which was in her letter, so thank you for that, Dawn. And I just think it's really cute, and I think the captain will really enjoy this, especially because he's got constellations in his windows. Next, I have two books from Beth C. from Arizona, and she runs Little Dragon Creations, which you can find on Facebook. And both of these books are completely made from polymer clay. Her signature is these little gold keys that she puts on all her miniatures. This one has a mermaid on the front, and this one has a dragon that has kind of an iridescent shimmer whenever the light is on it. Also, this one has the key on the spine as well. This next book is from Nikki M.H. from Montana, and this is her first miniature ever. She created a book that is about Montana and the small town that she lives, and the pages open and there are different colored pictures inside. It even has this really cool fold-out page that has a landscape of the Montana mountains, which is really beautiful. This next book is from Patty L. from Louisiana, and she felt like the captain needed a photo album to put all the photos from his adventures in. The cover is aged, and it has several stamps, and it says Bon Voyage across the front, and the little tie that goes around it can come off, which I think is really cute, and I just love the way that the pages are aged. Last but not least, I got a huge surprise from Jessie from North Carolina. She made this amazingly beautiful coat for the captain, and she has actually a YouTube channel, and I would love for you guys to go check out her YouTube channel. I don't know if you can tell, but there's individual stitches in this coat, and it's just beautiful. I was thinking I needed things for the closet, but I don't think I can put this in the closet actually. I think I might build some kind of stand for it to be shown off because it's just that beautiful. So please go check out her channel. I'll put a link to it in the description box below. I have already checked out a few of her videos, and she has got some sewing talent. So if you're interested in doll clothes, please go give her a subscribe and a like, and tell her hi from Bentley House Minis, and let her know how much we loved her coat. Thank you all so much for sending things in for the captain's quarters. Thank you so much for the books. Thank you, Jessie, for the coat. Seriously, they are my favorite part. I know I say that all the time, but they are my favorite part of this project. There's still a little bit of time to send in a book if you'd still like to. I'll leave a link to the original video that gives you all the information, and you guys can check it out if you'd like to. Thank you guys so much for joining me and allowing me to try out this little vlog experiment. I think I will definitely stick to my tutorial style more often, but let me know what you thought about this vlog thing every now and then, just to kind of have like a day in the studio, especially when I have these like little projects that are very kind of weird. I think my little puppy wants some attention, so I'm gonna end the vlog, and I hope you guys have an amazing week. Bye!